hey there, Death Dolls.
Hey, y'all.
How are you guys doing? If you're watching this, we are guessing you're back for our second installment of Makeup and Murder, the YouTube channel where beauty and blood collide. I am Nicky Elliott Nelson.
And I'm Mocha Pennington.
And I guess we're here doing this shit. So, you guys, we're ready. We're totally ready to do this.
We are.
Just in case you forgot how this kicks off, we go ahead and bring you our favorite beauty products along with a very, very, very true crime story. And the theme to this week's video is child's play. So, Mocha, are you ready to do this?
I am.
Okay, so I peeked at yours.
Yeah.
I gave it a little peek. I wasn't supposed to. We try to like hide each other's stories from each other for
like
as
to be
long as we can.
surprised.
That way when we're listening to it, we actually like hear it for the first time and we can like experience with you.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna out myself and say I saw that you went to Canada.
I did. Went all the way to Canada, honey.
You guys wanna know a secret? I went to Canada too. So what is up with Canada? You know,
I mean,
Miss Canada's been sitting up there real quiet for all these years,
She
not making
sure
no
has,
noise,
honey.
but, you know, listen, the theme of this video is child's play. So this is young serial killers or murderers. So, I don't know, I'm ready to hear. I'm ready to hear what you have to offer.
Well, before we jump into that, let me tell y'all a little something about this makeup product I am wearing on my eyes.
Ooh, what is it?
It is Morphe's Main Event palette. No,
Mm.
I done got this on sale.
Did you? How much was it?
$14.
$14.
It was $14. It's cute.
You know,
I
over the
like
years, I've
it.
learned to ask questions, right? So, how many shades does it have?
It has 24.
Okay.
24 shades. The bottom rows are actually eyeliners that you activate with water. I haven't used them yet.
Really?
Yes.
So what do you, like you dip the, how would you do that?
Like dip the brush in some water.
Uh-huh.
And then dip that in there and then go ahead and paint your eyeliner.
So is there an advantage to those over?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't used them yet. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
And in my eyes, it's really simple. Like
Yeah.
I used this,
What's it called?
I think acoustic.
Acoustic, yeah.
And I used that. I used this for the top, and I used this as
Is it called wheelies?
It is. Isn't it
Okay.
cute?
Yeah, that's super cute, yeah.
Use that in the crease, and then I went ahead with this on the lid, and then I went with this one on the lid as well.
What's this
I
one
like
over
layered
here?
them.
It's Silver Haze and Fair?
Yeah.
F-A-Y-R-E, whatever the hell that means.
And the glitters, they're pretty good.
Are
I
they
like them
really?
because sometimes like I mean they get everywhere. Obviously, they're
yeah.
glitter, but they're pretty good.
Okay, cool.
I like it.
All right.
I like it so far.
And you said it was $14.99?
Well, right now because it's on sale. I think I
Okay.
actually went back up to the regular price.
What was the regular price? Do you remember?
It was like $21.
Is $21 a good
I think
price
so.
range?
I
Okay.
think so.
'Cause
Especially
you get,
for
like-
25 eyeshadows.
Yeah. That's
Honey.
pretty cool. All right, I'm ready to hear about your little menace to society you got going on over there.
We are going to talk about Peter Woodcock,
Okay.
who is Canada's youngest serial killer.
Okay.
Well, Peter Woodcock was born in Toronto. That word is so hard for me to say.
Ontario?
Ontario.
Gotcha.
Ontario,
Okay,
y'all.
okay.
Sorry. In 1939 to a 17-year-old factory worker.
Okay.
He was with her for about a month before she was like, you know what? I am not a good mom. So she set him up for adoption.
Well, here's the thing. Know your strengths, right?
I mean, she was just like, I can't take care of him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So she was over it.
She was over it.
Okay.
And, as a newborn, he had issues feeding, and he cried constantly, like all the time. He spent, whenever he was younger, before he was like 3, he spent his time like going back and forth to different caregivers, different foster homes.
Well, because he's not eating and he cries all the time.
Yeah.
So.
And one family, they beat him. They beat him really bad. Like he messed up his neck, had a neck injury. Yeah, it was really, really bad.
So my question is like, why are you taking care? Like, why are you offering up your services as a caregiver, and then you're gonna beat the kids? What's the point?
He was like 1 year old when that happened too.
So he was like a baby.
Yeah, I can't even speak. And then
What a piece
they're
of
beating
shit.
him.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
After he was abused, like he became like terrified. If people came near him, he would cower, he would cry, he would scream.
With good reason.
Yes. And then the adoption agency that he was at, they deemed him as unadoptable.
Aww.
It's like, yeah, this kid, he's unadoptable. Y'all can try, but finally at 3 years old, he got adopted to a really good upper middle class family, Frank and Susan Maynard.
I love that for him. I really do.
I think they adopted or they fostered a lot of children.
Okay.
But they never adopted him. But he was with them until the end, I guess. We'll say that.
Okay.
And so it was said that Susan was really attached to him.
Okay.
And whenever he became 5 years old, he grew more accustomed to her.
Yeah.
And then his crying lessened. And when I was researching for the story, I came across a video by Brooke McKenna. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names.
Sorry, Brooke. She really is bad with names. Please don't hate her.
I'm sorry. Her family would foster children.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she believed that Peter has suffered from reactive attachment disorder, known as RADS.
What is that?
It occurs in children 6 months to 5 years old who do not have a secure living environment, such as being passed back to one caregiver to another.
Okay.
Children with RADS do not form healthy bonds with their caregivers.
Okay.
They seem to fear them, and they don't seek out any form of comfort and they would lash out if you try to give them affection, they'll lash out.
That's probably because they're no, don't give me something that you can't maintain this energy. I don't want it from you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tracks.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. Adults do that.
Yeah. They do. Yeah, they do. But at 5 years old, Peter was described as a social outcast. He was the target of bullying by the neighborhood children. He was once found in the bushes, so his bullies couldn't find him. Yeah, it's sad.
It's fucked up.
I think so.
Yeah.
His foster parents knew that something wasn't really right with him.
Yeah.
So they brought him to the hospital for sick children, for treatments. I don't know if that's the name of it.
So but it was this kind of sick, not this kind of sick, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say you're probably at the wrong hospital if it's.
Yeah, it was a mental sickness.
Physically, he's probably fine.
Yeah.
Mentally, not doing so well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At private school, he wasn't able to make any friends, and he was often seen alone.
Well, okay, why would you put this kid in a private school? First of all,
it was honey, we got the money.
I mean, yeah, but
because they thought that doing so would he'll be around kids like him, I don't want to say rich because they're upper middle class. Yeah.
But so have you ever heard a story that started and ended with, I went to private school and my experience was phenomenal? Have you ever heard a story like that? I haven't.
I mean, I haven't either.
Everybody who ever tells me they went to private school, it ain't a fucking happy ending.
He switched back and forth. He would go to private school and then he didn't do too well, so they would bring him to public school and he didn't do too well. So
remember, there was some kids at our school who would switch off between the private schools and then they'd come back to our school. We'd be like, "Oh, hey, girl, see you back again."
Like, yeah, I'll be
with
here
the
for
commoners. Back with the commoners, are ya?
Exactly. But he was described as an angry little boy by 11.
Okay.
And a report from the Children's Aid Society reads as the following.
Okay.
There was monitoring to him. Slight and build, neat in appearance, eyes bright and wide, worried facial expressions, interested in questioning constantly in conversations. He attributes his wandering, because he would wander all the time, wander off.
Okay.
He attributes his wandering to feeling so nervous that he needs to get away. In some ways, Peter has little capacity for self-control. He appears to act out almost everything that he thinks about and demonstrates an excessive affection for his foster mother. Although he verbalizes his resentment for other kids, he hasn't been known to physically attack any other child.
Okay.
Peter apparently has no friends. He plays occasionally with younger children, managing the play. When the children with children his own age, he is boastful and he expresses ideas that are unacceptable and misunderstood.
I would like a clarifier. I'd like to know some of the ideas.
Well,
I was just like,
yeah, I was thinking that
some
too.
examples.
Whenever I was like researching, I was like, well, like what?
Yeah, like.
No, I was interested.
Can I clarifier? Can I have an example of the ideas? I would just like to know what we're working with here. I'd like an example of the subject matter, please.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
didn't have none.
It probably wasn't good. It was probably kind of dark.
I mean, he ended up on our channel.
Yeah,
So, which, I mean, not for nothing, but if you end up on this channel, there wasn't exactly a happily ever after. So, there's that.
Well, a social worker she started, I don't know if it's a he or she, I'm just going to call her she.
Yeah.
She started to see little cracks in his exterior whenever they were at a Canada national exhibit.
Okay.
And Peter has said, I wish a bomb would fall on this exhibition and kill all the children. She was like, oh.
Oh.
So I don't know if he was, right after he said that, he was sent to a school for emotionally disturbed children.
They said, you got to go.
But in my mind, he said that, and his parents like, oh no, come on.
Come on. You're not going to embarrass us, honey. We love you to death, but you're embarrassing us. We got to go.
Well, at this school, he began a sexual relationship with a 12-year-old girl who was 13 at the time.
Okay.
He was discharged from that school when he was 15 and returned home with his foster parents. Although he was like bullied all throughout his school career, his teachers would be like, well, he did really well in school. He like almost scored 100 on all of his tests. So I mean,
and that's all the teachers give a shit about.
Right.
Pass this test.
So there's
Pass
that.
this test. So they're like, I mean, sure, a little homicidal, but he passed the test.
I mean, I'm doing my job as a teacher, pretty much.
Hey.
So
whatever else is wrong, he was
y'all.
broken when you gave him to us, all right? That's probably a little fucked up, huh?
Oh, well,
yeah,
it happens.
It does.
Well, once Peter's stepmom, Susan, she came home to find their pet bird dead. He was lied out on the piano with candles circling him. And they were like, yeah, Peter did it. He done killed the bird.
So here's the thing. That's messed up.
Yes.
But also, have you had a pet bird before?
No, I heard they're annoying as hell.
Oh my God, they won't stop.
Yeah,
they won't stop. Like the only thing
are.
that you could do to get them to stop is like put a little tarp over their cage. So
It's like-
literally, you have to always force them to think that it's nighttime.
And then they stop talking. Or
Talking,
whatever,
yes.
talking, chirping.
Yeah. I had like
acting a
one
damn
pet
fool.
bird because our parents didn't want to like be normal and get us a dog. So they
Let's
thought a
get a
bird was gonna be
bird.
okay. That fucking bird.
They
that
were like,
fucking
"We
bird.
can't."
Yeah. So 5 years later, and do you know how long these birds last?
I heard that like a parrot can last up to like 100 years.
Well, it wasn't no parrot, honey. It was, I don't know, a parakeet. I don't know. I
Was
don't.
it the smaller one? I can imagine.
The
your
small,
mom was
colorful
like,
one?
Oh God.
She loved that damn
Did
bird.
she?
Oh God. I guess I did too.
Well. Well, at 17, to satisfy his need to wander, Peter was gifted his favorite possession, which was a red and white bicycle that he claimed was his best friend.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead. We know that you're kind of strange.
Yeah.
And you like to wander around. So let's aid that
Give him
in
a
giving you a
ride.
Humphrey, or what they call those, Huffy? Let's give a
Yeah,
little
a
bastard
little
a Huffy
Huffy.
bike. And let him just wander throughout the neighborhood. He just fucking strung up a bird.
But whatever.
Whatever, no big deal.
Never we first decided on the topic, I was like trying to think. I couldn't think of his name, so
Yeah.
I just put in Google, and I was like, the kid that rode bikes and killed people. And then he was the first one. I was like, okay, there we go, same page.
So his reputation precedes him.
Exactly. But he rode that bike everywhere, rain, shine, hot weather, cold weather, honey. He was on his damn bike just riding. He rode that damn bike everywhere, honey.
Okay.
And Peter developed an imaginary gang he called the Winchester Heights Gang, which consisted of 500 invisible boys who all rode bikes with him. And Peter would tell his foster parents about all the activities him and his gang were doing. And then his parents was like, yeah, okay.
It's good to see you making friends, honey.
I don't know, like, how would I react to that? Do you think just like, sure, Jan?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. What do you do when you know your kid is batshit crazy?
And you're just like,
And there's
"Ah."
like nothing you can do. Because listen, they've done what they can do. They've put them in several different programs.
Yeah.
They've like, what else do you do? Do you just
Yeah.
drop them off at the county jail and be like, listen,
I mean,
let's just get it in advance.
Would
We
it
know
save
where
some
this is
trouble if
going.
they did?
Yeah, I mean, what do you do?
but Peter would, whenever he would ride his bike, he would find children with this invisible gang, and then
Yeah.
he would sexually assault them.
Wait a minute, pause. Like little children?
Yeah. He would ride his bike and see children playing, and then he'll sexually assault them. On September 15th, 1956, the Moffat family,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm sorry,
Mollett?
the Mollett family, I'm sorry.
Mm.
Moffat's a different person. I'll get to
It's a different story.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But they decided to go to the fair. They split up, the parents going off one way, the two older children going off the other.
What is it with, like, back in the fucking 50s, 60s, 70s? They're just like, all right, kids, fend for yourselves.
I was thinking the same thing, but I found out that, like, the area that they were in, like, the crime rate was, like, extremely low. Which, well, I'll talk about that more. Never get in. But it was, like, really low. So I was like, oh, go on ahead.
Oh, sure.
They left seven-year-old Wade by himself, and then Peter, he done saw him, and he lured him off, where he strangled him. He strangled him to death, and when he was found the next day, he was lying face down in dirt.
Wait a minute. So they didn't even find him till the next day?
Yeah, they were looking for him, obviously.
Okay. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, well, you never know. It was the 50s.
I mean,
They could have been like, oh, he'll walk home. I swear to God, it's like they didn't give a shit what happened.
like, he'll drive home. He's only
Yeah,
7.
he's
fine.
7. He's got the keys to the Dodge Dynasty. He'll make it.
Hell. But he was found dead, face down in the dirt. His clothing seemed to be, like, removed and then, like, put back on. There were 2 bite marks on him, one on his calf and one on his butt. And pennies were scattered around him, ritual-like.
Pennies?
Pennies.
I thought you said panties. at
Oh,
first.
God.
Like, this kid just carry panties with him?
Pennies. And next to the corpse, Peter had defecated. But there was no sign of any forced intercourse or anything.
So, Peter's the name of the little kid, right?
Peter is the name of the
one
guy
that-
who strangled him.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say...
Wayne is the...
Little boy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, maybe, because, you know, sometimes you release when you die.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, maybe that's it.
No, Peter's just effing weird.
Yeah. He's strange.
The security guard recalled a boy on a bike coming up to him wondering what the procedures were if they found a dead body. And then the boy on the bike said that he saw a suspicious kid who looked awfully like him earlier, and the security guard asked to be left alone. It was like, girl, go away.
What's that, Lassie? You saw a kid who looked just like me
But
kill
that was
someone?
like an indicator, but like, why would he should have said like something else? Like, I saw a man bring a kid off. Like, why would he looked a lot like me, but it wasn't me though.
You know, I
promise.
think the most fucked up thing in this situation is, like, me on the other, I would just like to say, adults have gotten a lot better at adulting in the last 10 to 20 years. I know all the adults here who are watching, you're probably giving yourself a very difficult time. But let me tell you what, adulting in, like, adults in the, like, 1950s and 60s, they sucked at it. Because listen to this. A kid comes up to you and says, hey, there's some kid who looks a lot like me, who I think I think he committed a crime, right?
Suspicious.
It looks suspicious. And then you're just like, go away. Who does that?
Oh,
Who does that?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
A 14-year-old runaway, Ron Moffat, was brought into the police station for questioning when he was discovered sleeping and hanging around the area where Wayne's body was discovered.
Mm-hmm.
He told them that he had run away from home because he got in an argument with his parents.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have murdered Wade because he was at the movie theater watching like a double feature at the time of the murder.
I was at the movie that day, all day.
Okay. But after a while, he was like, I did it. fine, I did it. If that's what you want, fine, I killed him.
You know, I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard
Yeah.
of people just being so tired of being like interrogated by the police that just like to make it all go away, they're just like, fine, I did it. Now will you leave me alone?
Yeah.
It's just like, I get it.
All my exes.
No,
I would nag them.
I mean, I get it. Bad technique because things only get worse for you after that.
They do.
But like, and I bet like the cops, like they actually think that they're getting like a confession, but it's just like, no, people just want you to leave them
like,
alone.
God.
Fuck
fine.
off, will you?
Yeah. But Ron was sent to a youth detention and he remained there. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. He remained there even after like multiple people came forward and be like, no, we definitely saw him at the movie theater. I worked there. He actually helped us, which he did. And then they were like, well, no, he did it. He confessed.
We got our guy.
And he couldn't even ride a bike, Ron. He couldn't ride a bike.
He confessed under duress.
Yeah.
Excellent police work there. Great.
Well, not even a month later, on October 6th, Gary Morris was playing outside with a friend when Peter rode up to him on his bike and asked Gary if he wanted to ride to Cherry Beach. I don't know where that is.
I wasn't even going to Cherry Beach, Peter. So no.
And the kid was like, okay, I'll go with you, whatever.
No, I will not go with you. No. You know what? You got a lot of fucking nerve. Thinking I want to go to Cherry Beach.
I mean, I want to go.
Just like every man think you know what's right.
Okay. But at the beach, Peter strangled him and beat the boy to death. Gary didn't die from being strangled, but he died from a ruptured liver. Peter jumped on him on his back until his liver exploded. There was bite marks on his throat and paper clips were sprinkled around the boy's body.
In a ritualistic type manner.
Yeah, and again, like his clothes were removed and then put back on. When Gary's body was discovered, the police knew that okay, something's going on. But then they were like, well, actually, there could be two murderers, Ron and the other person, because they knew it was connected, and they knew like the MO was like the same.
As long as the guy that we've been holding, as long as we can still implicate him in some way and not have to be wrong, even though everybody and their fucking mother has basically told us that that's not the guy. But you know what? Here's what makes our story plausible.
There's two of them. 3 months later, on January 19th, 1957, 4-year-old Carol Boyce was playing outside with a friend in front of his house when Peter approached them on his bike. He initially asked the young boy if he wanted to go for a ride, but he changed his mind and asked Carol, and she accepted. He brought her to a secluded area where he strangled her into unconsciousness and then violated her with a tree branch. That's what killed her.
Wait. Violating her with the tree branch killed her.
Yeah.
So it must have been pretty...
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was... It's really messed up.
Yeah.
When her body was found, witnesses came forth and said that they seen a kid on a bike, and they were able to give an accurate description of him. And then, like, the artist or the sketcher, they sketched it, and they put it on the front of the Toronto store, and then people were like, I know him. So he was arrested 4 days later. Yes.
So what happens to our guy back in the pokey?
I mean, after that, well, I'll get to it.
Okay.
Peter confessed to the murders, like, right away. He showed, like, little remorse, and he didn't even give, like, a rational explanation why he did it. He was quoted saying, "My fear was that Mother would find out. Mother was my biggest fear. I didn't know if the police would let her at me." And Susan, she was described as a forceful woman with an exaggerated sense of property. So he wasn't scared about going to jail, but he was scared of Mother. A team of psychologists evaluated Peter, and they couldn't find out what was wrong with him. They was like, honey, we don't know. We don't know. And they deemed him as insane. He was on trial on April 11th, 1957. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity. So they brought him to a psychiatric hospital, sorry.
Yeah.
He was diagnosed as a sociopath, and he was given a lot of experiments with drugs and treatments. One was like an LSD treatment, which they just give him like acid, I guess. He didn't respond well to any of those treatments. And
People usually don't.
he said it only helped them manipulate people better, pretty much.
Stand up, kid.
Well, he was able to convince other inmates that he had a gang outside the hospital called the Brotherhood, and if they wanted to join, they had to give him oral sex and cigarettes. And whenever I read that, I was like, so what did they do afterwards? Like, they joined the gang, and after they gave him a BJ and the cigarettes, so they just like sat around in like the cafeterias, like, what happened with that?
You're in the gang, man. You're in the gang.
So what did they do? I don't know.
I don't know.
In 1982, Peter was transferred to a lower security institution where he was able to receive day passes.
Great. Let him out and let him just out.
They accompanied him. They were with him.
I was going to say, no, that's a fantastic idea.
They took him to like museums. They took him to movie theaters. He done saw Silence of the Lamb.
Great movie to show him, right?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking, the first movie I would show this guy?
Silence of the damn Lamb, honey.
Yeah. I would show him Barney and Friends on repeat.
Honey, bring him the Finding. Well, it wasn't out yet, but... At this institution, he fell in love with another patient named Dennis Kier. Dennis wanted no part of Peter. Like, he was getting hit on. He was like, honey, no.
Careful, Dennis.
I'm good. He rejected him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was said that after Dennis rejected Peter's behavior worsened. For some reason, Peter changed his name to David Michael Cougar. But I'm going to keep calling him Peter just to not confuse everyone.
He changed his name to Kruger.
Honey.
Mm-hmm.
They probably brought him this time out of Elm Street, too.
Mm-hmm.
He formed a friendship with a former patient at the second hospital that he was at, named Bruce Hamill, who in 1984 was institutionalized for murder, for like stabbing to death an elderly lady. But he was released from the hospital, and they let him work security for the hospital. Yeah. So I guess...
Did he sound like stellar ideas to you guys at home? Does it seem like... So this man killed someone, killed an elderly woman, and was committed to a hospital for having killed said woman. And then when he was released, they were like, you know what? Fuck it. We're hiring.
Okay. You'll be great at security for this hospital, honey.
Yeah.
Well, they were friends, and then Peter was like, if you join this gang called the Brotherhood,
they will look
Brotherhood after you on the outside, but you have to kill Dennis for me.
The guy who rejected him.
Yeah.
Peter's a bitch. Yeah. What an ass.
Isn't he? This petty as hell, isn't he?
Okay, I need the parents of sons to teach them early on that life does not rise and set out of their asshole. Yes. And sometimes, like, man or woman is just not going to be into you.
They're going to reject you.
They're going to reject you. They're going to want nothing to do with you. And it probably has less to do with you than it does to do with them. But you can't go on killing people because somebody rejected you. You got to kind of like take it on the chin. You win some, you lose some, you live to fight another day.
Exactly.
You know what? Some rejection is good.
I mean, I feel like you have to.
Yeah. You're like, this is not the way to handle rejection.
No, not at all.
Just wanted to throw that out there for those of you at home. Does anyone disagree? If so, put it in the comment section so we can make sure we put you under 24-hour surveillance. Because...
the two devised a plan, and they put it into action on July 13th, 1991. Bruce went to a hardware store where he bought knives, a hatchet, a wrench, and sleeping bags, and they went to the hospital to sign out Peter.
Could you imagine being the person to check him out, to check out Bruce? Like, you're just like, hey, how you doing? Oh, a little knife, okay. Oh, sleeping bag.
I mean, they're probably just like, well, I mean, going on a
Bro.
hunting
Big
trip.
plans?
Yeah.
Big plans?
Well, where was I? Peter arranged to meet Dennis in the woods, and after promising to loan him $500, and so he showed up. And he was not out of the hospital an hour before he hit Dennis in the head with the wrench and then beat him until he was unconscious. Then him and Bruce used the hatchet and the knives to mutilate his body, nearly decapitating him, mind you.
Great.
And then they stripped nude and took turns sexually assaulting Dennis's corpse. And afterwards, Bruce took some sleeping pills, which I don't know why. And he went to sleep, and Peter redressed in his blood-drenched clothes and went to the Woodcock police station. It was like 2 miles away. And he was like, yo, he confessed what he just did. And he was at the police station. Peter, 52 years old, half blind and half deaf, masturbated in front of everyone, total of 6 times. And then he and Bruce were sent back to the first institution that he was at. In a 1993 interview, Peter was quoted as saying, "I'm accused of having no mortality, which is an unfair assessment because my mortality is whatever the system allows." And in 2010, he died on his 71st birthday. Like, right on his 71st birthday, he died.
She needs new specs, y'all. That was morality. But you know, she's blind. Blind as a damn
I am,
bat.
and the font's large as hell.
Yeah, you made it as big as you could.
I did. Yeah, you know my eyes ain't that good.
You know.
Died of natural causes.
At 71?
Mm-hmm, at 71.
How the hell do you die of natural causes at 71?
Honey?
I thought Canada had great health care.
Well.
Not when your people are dying at 71. Wow, that's...
Yeah, it was a crazy story.
So basically, you know, I'm accused of having no morality, which is a fair assessment because my morality is whatever the system allows. So basically, right up to the end, no accountability for his actions.
Pretty much, yeah. And he still couldn't give, like, any explanation why he murdered.
I think he was just batshit crazy from the beginning.
I mean, that's what it seems like.
It seemed like he was just batshit nuts from the word jump.
Crazy as hell.
I mean... Hide your kids, hide your wives. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Oh my God, shit. Shit.
Well, now from Peter Woodcock, he's dead now.
Well, don't let him see you in your dreams.
Oh gosh.
Well, guys, before we get on to my story, I think we're going to take a little break. Hey, Death Dolls. Hope you guys are enjoying Makeup and Murder. If so, check us out on Tea Time, a YouTube channel where we talk about YouTube drama in all of its dirty little essence. Link in the description box. Okay, guys, back to the show. All right, Death Dolls, we are back from a well-deserved break, and I am going to kick off my story for you guys. But first, I'm going to let you guys in on a not-so-very-well-kept secret. You guys know that I am living right now for Curology. Oh, my God. When I tell you guys, it is a game changer. It has changed so much about my skin. I absolutely love it so much. I'm telling everybody who will listen. And let me tell you what, I went on, first off, they sent me my first month for $5.
Oh.
I got my first month for $5. And when I tell you guys, I don't know how quickly it happens for everyone else, but for me, I was seeing noticeable progressive changes in my skin within a week. Within the first week. So I've recently gone in and, you know, I let the subscription roll over. I let them send me the rest of my product. And so they have sent me my full size. It is a 3-step. Oh, I left one of them out. It is a 3-step. You got your face wash here, your little custom-made formula. They will customize a formula specifically for you based on a questionnaire that you fill out. You finish it off with a moisturizer, and to boot, they give you a little something for the body wash because you guys know, or maybe you don't know, I am in the gym at least 2 hours a day, and all that sweat, all that, bleh, I don't know what it is, but it has caused some sort of body acne going on. But Curology, lifesaver,
girl.
game changer. So I love Curology. I would recommend it to anybody. It is doing me more favors than a few. I'll tell you that. But also, I wanted to kick off another tip. Do you know what else is really good for the skin? Haircuts. I am not even kidding you. Like, to my dolls out there, to the dolls out there who are no stranger to a barber shop, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get that hair taken off of your face, right? And have them go in and give you a little shave, because I think it gets rid of like dead skin cells or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I heard that.
Shit always looks real shiny and good after a fresh haircut. So I get my hair cut once a week.
Mm-hmm.
I also, my buddies, my friends, my homies right here. And they just, my dolls take care of me, you guys.
How long have you been using it?
I think we are coming up just about a month. It's been like 3 weeks or a month, and I tell you what, I wouldn't change shit about it.
Well,
I wouldn't change any. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. There's one thing that I would change about it. I can't, the bottles are not clear.
Yeah.
I don't ever know how much product I'm working with here.
You have to hold it up to like
I mean, not even, because they're like, well, this one you can kind of see through a
Okay.
little bit, but the rest of them, it's just like, well, you can kind of, I guess, a little bit.
You have to have studio lighting.
Yes, you have to have studio lighting, and this one is a no. Like, you're not seeing, you're not seeing anything, honey. You're not seeing diddly. So there's that. But I love Curology. I would recommend it to just about anyone. Are you ready to hear my story?
I am.
Dolls, are you ready to hear the story? Okay, so to tell it to you, we have to go back to Canada.
Well,
so let's talk a little bit about the province, which is apparently a province is a state.
mm-hmm.
So if you're from America, when you hear the word province, just think of state. I think that's right. It could be wrong because I don't know what a province is. There you have it. So let's go to the province of Medicine Hat, Canada. It is located in Alberta. It is located in Alberta and has a population of around 64,458 people.
Mm.
So relatively small, right?
Yeah.
Medicine Hat was named after a medicine man's hat. It inherited its name from the native word Samis. I'm gonna say it. If I butchered it, please correct me in the comments down below.
I butchered everything.
Right? So it's a strange and interesting name for a city. So Medicine Hat is one of the sunniest cities in Canada, which I'd imagine has to be a perk because every time I think of Canada, I just think it's cold.
I think it's cold.
I just think it's like cold, and I'd rather not.
In that, like, I heard that it's like not.
You can tell me all you want.
I heard like the winters are like really, really, really dreadful.
Well, that's enough for me to not to want to be there.
Okay.
That's enough for me not. I can't do it. I'm sorry. So it's pretty sunny there, and a large population of Canadians aged 60 and above choose Medicine Hat as their retirement destination, and here are some of the reasons. The housing is super affordable. Natural gas is inexpensive. I don't know how that factors into your decision-making process whenever retiring. Like, oh, natural gas is cheap. Thank God. But whatever. They say electricity is cheap. Taxes are low, right?
Well.
And the climate is very mild. So that's great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's not great.
Okay.
April 23rd, 2006, 3 members of the Richardson family were murdered in Medicine Hat, Alberta. So the Richardson family was made up of 4 people. Mom, Deborah, she was 48. Dad, Mark, he was 42. Okay, we see you, Mark.
Okay.
We see you, Mark. He said, I need a mature woman. Okay,
exactly.
I'm not dating no children. I need a woman who know what she's doing. Okay, Mark, we see you. Daughter, of course, Jasmine, she was 12, and Taylor, the youngest boy, was 8. Now, everything is normal. You know, they have a normal family setup. They have like a nuclear family, you know.
Well,
everything is that what a nuclear family is?
I never heard
I
that
think a
one
nuclear
before.
family is like mom, dad, and 1.5 kids. So you have like one kid, and then mom is pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not a nuclear family. Oops. So it seemed that a friend of Taylor had gone to the Richardson house for a little play date. How cute is that?
Mm-hmm.
And he knocked on the door, but no one answered. So he decided to go to the side of the house and have a peek through one of the windows.
He's
nosy little shit.
He's nosy.
Nosy little shit.
He's like, I know y'all home.
Right?
I want to play.
So upon first glance, he couldn't see much, but after he focused his concentration, he made out what he thought to be bodies. So he ran home and told his mother, who immediately contacted law enforcement, which, good call.
Yeah.
Good call. So some of the adults didn't suck?
Yeah.
Well, actually, this was in 2006,
yeah,
so never mind.
It wasn't in the 50s.
Yeah, because in the 50s, like, the little kid would have ran home, and, like, the parents would have been like, here's a cigarette.
Just calm down.
Here's a cigarette. Calm down.
There's
some bourbon in the back. There's bourbon in the back. You'll be fine. God. Such an active imagination. So, and I'm going to murder this name, and I'm so sorry, but...
Sorry, my life.
Inspector Brent Secondiac. I'm going to just, like, put it down there. Arrived on the scene and looked into the basement window where he saw at least one person on the ground. He called other officers for backup, thinking they may be able to save someone in the house, but no one inside was alive. Mark Richardson, Deborah Richardson, and their 8-year-old son had all been brutally murdered. Says here is that Mark and Deborah's lifeless bodies were discovered lying on the ground on the first floor, while Jacob was found upstairs lying in bed. Like, what a scene to, like...
I was just imagining. I was like, oh, God, what a gruesome scene to, like, walk in on.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. So while investigating the scene, detectives started taking note of the family portraits. And while the family looked doting and happy, investigators were horrified that the photos revealed a troubling thought. The Richardson family photos contained 4 family members, and they only found 3 bodies. The Richardson daughter, Jasmine, was missing. So the first thing on their mind was that she had been kidnapped.
Yeah, I think so.
Or
too.
worse.
Yeah.
Worse, right? So they're like, all right, we got to do something. I mean, first off, 12-year-old white girl, they're going to find her.
They're like, oh, no,
And they say, oh, hell no, they're going to find her real quick.
2006, too.
Exactly. They're like, oh, no, spare her. So for most of her childhood, Jasmine had been a pleasant and happy-go-lucky child. She'd recently, however, developed some really weird habits. She'd recently gone into the punk scene, which is relatable because we all had a face.
Still in it.
I was going to say some of us grew out of it.
Well, not punk, more metal, but
yeah,
neither here nor there.
Either way, very relatable, right?
Yes.
And it will be later discovered that she was an avid member of the website vampirefreaks.com.
I was on there. No.
Where you want your 12-year-old daughter hanging out every day, you know?
Yeah.
So apparently this is an online forum that allows like-minded people to stay in contact. So just like any social media platform, you can list details about your personal life. And here are a few of the things that Jasmine had to say about herself. She was listed as a Wiccan, bisexual, nocturnal woman. So accomplished by the mere age of 12. It literally took me decades to figure out how I took my toast. But here's Jasmine, all of the age of 12.
And a woman.
Oh,
a woman at 12.
Right.
All right.
Wiccan, bisexual, nocturnal. Jasmine's got it figured. You know what? Good for you, girl. Good for you, Jasmine. So, in early 2006, Jasmine attended a punk show where she met 23-year-old.
Oh, God.
23-year-old Jeremy Stanky.
Was she there by herself or with friends?
Well, she wasn't there with her parents.
Well, obviously.
Which was the first thing. So, like, big cred to parenting, taking like leaps and bounds as far as not sucking as much.
Yeah.
I just don't know if my 12-year-old daughter is going to a punk show by herself.
I don't.
But you know what?
I
Kids
don't
lie.
think so. I mean, yeah.
So she could have
She could
lied.
have just snuck out. I'm like, oh, I'm going to my
Exactly.
my girl's house,
Yeah,
and then she went to the damn
Exactly.
concert.
We've all used the fucking line before. Just Sasha, tell her I'm at your house. You know, so.
We have.
Mm-hmm.
It's on call now.
Right.
Then the parent calls like, oh, she's sleeping.
Right? She's
Crazy
asleep.
girl done fell asleep at 7 a.m.
Look
or
at,
7 p.m.
look at her. Well, okay, so Jeremy Stanke is a self-proclaimed 300-year-old werewolf who wore a vial of blood around his neck. You know, he must have thought he was so badass. Well, I got news for you, Jeremy. Okay?
I would have fell for him.
Well, Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton beat him to the punch on the whole vial of blood around the neck.
I
thing.
mean, that's true.
So
I mean,
what-
a lot of people have, actually.
Poser. How unoriginal. Now, Jeremy's childhood was a tad bit different than Jasmine's. His mother was an alcoholic, and her boo would beat him regularly. School wasn't really an escape because the kids would, like, torment him. So basically, Jeremy was like the textbook definition of like a scene kid that we see in the movies.
Yeah.
And I have to say that for once, I am really glad that the high school we went to was nothing like what you see in those damn movies.
Yeah.
Like, there were just, everyone kind of hung out with everybody.
Yeah, everyone got along.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that everyone got along, but
I mean,
everybody-
every now and again.
Yeah, it wasn't, if you didn't get along, there were like fewer barriers to friendship. So like, if somebody didn't like you, like, not saying that there weren't exceptions, but if someone didn't like you, it was because you were like, poorly socialized or a dick to be around.
Yeah.
It wasn't because someone was a jock and the other person was a prep, because it's just like...
Yeah, we didn't have like
Wait,
mean
those two
girls
group-
at our
You try to have mean girls at our high school. Somebody would have got their ass
Okay,
beat.
it was like,
Like-
honey. Get that bitch Georgina.
She's a bitch. So, of course, the two meet. Jasmine immediately falls deep in love.
Yeah.
Of course, you know. So, for all the grown woman she is, she's certainly a cliche.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, instead of Jeremy being like, you know what, that's, like, really cute and everything, and I'm honored, because, you know, you don't want to hurt the little girl's feelings, but a well-adjusted adult will be like, so that's cute, but I kind of see you more of, like, a little sister. You know, you're cool. You're not
hang out with.
Yeah, like you're not a bad person or whatever, and it's nothing that you did. It's just that it's kind of inappropriate, and that's just not the kind of relationship that we're gonna cultivate here.
He could have been watching that blank check.
Well, that is another story for we have to tell you guys about. All right, have you guys seen the Disney movie Blank Check?
Like 1993.
3, 4,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Basically, at the end of the movie, this little ass, was he 12?
If that.
Like, makes out with this grown woman, and everybody's
Yes.
just fine with it.
Oh, in front of everyone too. Wasn't she like an FBI agent?
She was
or
an
something?
FBI. They would have taken her badge. Like,
There was
bitch.
what the hell?
You're bringing us shame.
Puffer.
Well, Jeremy doesn't do any of that. Instead, they immediately start dating. Immediately. So, almost immediately, the two were inseparable. They spent all their time together, watching movies, listening to music, all the normal things that a 12-year-old would do, which makes me wonder, does Jeremy have a job?
Well,
Because...
I don't think 300-year-old werewolves have jobs.
Well, I guess that's one of the benefits of being a 300-year-old werewolf.
I guess so.
You don't have to work. Oh, look at that.
Like, okay, you lying.
Right. Like, find yourself something to do. Okay. So, they keep this up for a little bit, but, you know, eventually, Jasmine's parents find out. Damn parents, they just don't understand, do they?
Ruin everything.
And with good reason, they are mad as hell.
Yeah.
They immediately forbid Jasmine from seeing Jeremy, which tracks,
You
makes
should.
sense, but unfortunately it's 2006, and you cannot stop the internet.
Mm.
So the two decide to keep in touch via email and chat. And the more Jasmine's parents like tried to keep them away from each other, the more inclined Jasmine felt to be like,
exactly.
I need my man.
Okay.
I need my man.
That's what happens.
So, you know, I've been saying that they've been keeping in touch through chat and email. So it was in one of the messages that was later discovered by authorities that Jasmine lamented to Jeremy, I've got a plan. It starts with us murdering my parents.
Oh, God.
And it ends with me living with you.
My goodness. Oh.
Once again, I expected Jeremy's, like, I don't know, rationale to kick in and for him to be like, babe, you're taking things a little far.
Yeah.
Maybe we should scale that back a little.
Yeah.
Never one to disappoint, though. Jeremy's like, I love it. Sounds great. Let's work out the details a little bit later. We just have to fluff it a little bit, but it sounds like a good plan. So it was at this point when the authorities discovered these messages that Jasmine goes from being a possible victim to prime suspect.
Yeah, she should.
So Jeremy was also a member of various online forums where members of the outskirts of society could come together to find some sort of community. Side note, do you remember where there was a time where there was like an outskirts of society? What a fucking joke that is now.
I mean,
I wouldn't consider anything to be the outskirts of society. I don't know if the internet did it, but like, I think now, to me, the outsiders are the people who are pretending to be like straight-laced and square, and it's just like the rest of us are looking at them like, geez, you are fucking weird.
Yeah, you're so weird.
Like, what a fucking joke.
Doing homework?
Oh my. Right. Yes, I heard Ivanka Trump's a lesbian, so good for her. Good for her. Good job, Ivanka.
Yeah, girl.
Fight the power. So, anyway, Jeremy, Mr. Stanky, he posted one of the following messages to one of those websites.
Oh, no.
A poet, he is. A poet. I have to make my screen smaller so I can see his great work. So, he posted the following. Payment. My lover's rents are totally unfair. That's definitely the language of a 300-year-old romance, you know what I'm saying? They say they really care. This is fucking cheesy. They don't know what's going on. They just assume. As their greed continues to consume. She is slowly going insane. She continues to think that I came into her life to help her out and to stop what they keep trying to shout. It's all total bullshit. Their throats I want to slit. They will regret the shit that they have done, especially when I see to it that they are gone. They shall pay for their insolence. Finally there shall be silence. Their blood shall be payment.
My goodness.
So a young, like, Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I can see where he was going with that. You know, it's definitely inspired. I really see the anguish. I love the fact that he tried to stick to a traditional iambic pentameter. I love rhyme scheme, you know.
Wonderful. Wonderful poet.
We could use some work. But trust me, he's got nothing but time.
Being an editor.
Yeah. So then the day happens upon us. April 23rd, 2006. Jeremy and Jasmine, with the assistance of getaway driver Casey Lancaster, proceed to kill Jasmine's family.
Oh my goodness.
Stanky first attacked Jasmine's mother and father downstairs, stabbing them to death, which that must take talent to kill two people at one time.
Yeah, what was the other one doing? Maybe they were trying to...
I have no idea, but this is
There was like a scuffle. We probably injured one of them.
Well, I mean...
Had the other. I don't know.
I think we underestimate. Stanky is a 300-year-old werewolf.
Oh, I mean, that is true.
So he's done this before. He kills the mother and the father, stabbing them to death. And then he went upstairs where Jasmine is, and Jasmine proceeded to stab her little brother in the chest while he pled for his life.
Oh, God.
She testified in court that he was saying, please, I'm too young to die. And right as he said that, Jeremy then finished him off by slitting his throat.
Oh my God.
Jasmine later testified that she stated the reason for her decision to kill her little brother was that she thought it was cruel to leave him without his parents.
That you took away from him. Yeah, that's
Clarifier.
messed up.
Like,
I was like, what did he do? He didn't do anything.
well, also, you thought it cruel to leave him without the parents that you killed.
Yeah.
Weird lady.
Just a little.
So within hours of the murders, the couple was spotted at a restaurant, cuddling and laughing, like absolutely nothing had gone wrong. And the very next day, authorities arrested the couple less than 100 meters away from the crime scene. Don't ask me how many miles that is. I don't know. I think it was 60. Apparently, the rest of the world uses the metric system.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. So, pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Now, just so these bases are covered, they said that the inspiration for their murder spree is the night before they had watched a movie called Natural Born Killers.
I've seen it.
Which, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to kill anyone, though.
I didn't either.
I mean, at some points I wanted to turn it off. Because it was getting a little weird in some places, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yeah, not everything is my thing, you know? But I was never so moved that I wanted to end lives.
You know what? I think I'm going to go kill someone after that.
Yeah, no. So Jasmine Richardson went on trial of June 2007. She was 14 years old at the time, and she pled not guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder. The trial lasted approximately a month, and in July 2007, after 3 hours of deliberation, the jury brought back the final verdict. Guilty, bitch!
Okay.
Guilty. So in November of 2007, Jasmine was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment.
Oh, man. I don't think that's long enough.
So you can tell this isn't America. We don't play that shit. You about to go to jail, girl, for the rest of your life. So apparently 10 years is the maximum sentence allowed by the Youth Criminal Justice Act in Canada. The act states that any convicts who are under the age of 14 at the time that they committed the act cannot be charged as adults and can be given a maximum sentence of 10 years. So, in December of 2008, Jasmine Richardson's boyfriend and accomplice, Jeremy Stanky, was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to 3 concurrent life sentences in prison. He will be eligible for parole after serving 25 years. So Casey Lancaster, you may not remember her, but she was also implicated in this as the getaway driver. She struck a deal with the prosecution and only ended up serving a year of house arrest.
Well.
So it gets worse.
Oh my.
Well, depending on what your perspective is. As per the guidelines of her sentencing, Jasmine has now been released she has now been released and is serving the time under conditional supervision in the community, which I think is Canada speak for parole.
Yeah.
Canada's youngest convicted multiple murderer has, as of September 2011, become a freshman at Mount Royal University, Calgary, Alberta. Now 18 years old, it has been 6 years since Jasmine and her boyfriend murdered her parents and her little brother.
And she's just in a university.
And she's just going to college.
Living
her normal, regular life. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel.
She should be in jail.
Yeah.
Or at least like an institution.
I mean, here's the thing. I always wax and wane. I go back and forth on this because it's just like, some things are a case-by-case basis. And I think what pisses me off the most about this particular case is Jasmine was a fucking brat.
Yeah.
Jasmine was a fucking brat whose parents tried to stop her from dating a child
A
molester.
23-year-old man.
I mean, at the end of the day, whenever it gets said done, Jeremy's a fucking child molester.
Yeah, he definitely is.
End of conversation.
Yes.
And so her parents' only crime was stopping her or trying to stop her from dating a goddamn child molester.
Yeah.
And for that, they paid their life. And
her little brother didn't do anything.
And her little brother didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And so it's just... So there's that part. But then there's the other part that, you know, says, okay, so I believe that she was really aware of what she was doing.
Yeah.
But also she was 12.
Yeah, she was really, really young.
Do you know, and I'm sorry, but I think at 12 you don't realize your own mortality.
Yeah.
Or other people's mortality. Like at 12, I mean, people are dicks at that age, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't get your way, you don't get what you want, you don't really think of. I mean, you know that like killing someone is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Hopefully by 12, but you may not consider like, oh, but they're never coming back, and this is gonna be the end of it, and then it's just like end all be all. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, at 30, 40, 50. You could probably weigh out the, you know, your decision-making process is probably a little bit more well-rounded.
You're not the same person that
you
at like 40
you know?
that you are at 12.
So I'm fucked up about it. I really am.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
She needs some treatment or something.
Well, you know, Canada, like, they hail her as the picture of rehabilitation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, so she is, like, lauded as the picture of rehabilitation, and look at how well she's doing, and she's fine now. But I would venture to say that she was never doing bad to begin with. She was a little fucking brat who wasn't getting her way.
Yeah,
and
she acted a damn fool.
I think the true test of is she rehabilitated is see how she behaves in the future when she doesn't get her way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see that.
So Inspector, which I'm guessing that's Canada speak for detective. Inspector, gonna mess it up again, guys. Secondiak says he has experienced conflicting emotions over Jasmine's sentence and subsequent freedom, stating that at one point I wanted her locked up forever. He says, I don't think I'm there now. I hope she moves on and becomes a productive member of society. I don't think she's truly evil. I've met people before that are truly just bad to the bone.
Yeah.
And Jasmine's not one of them.
Well.
So, and that is the story.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know her.
Yeah, I'll take your word.
I just know that she's done killed people. She done killed her brother, her parents.
Yeah. I also feel a little bit conflicted too because Jeremy is rotting.
Yeah.
But
he's 23
actually, I don't feel conflicted. Now that I think about it, I don't feel bad at all.
He could have like, well, let's like not do that.
Yeah. You know what?
Let's just run away.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. How about we scale this back a little? Because I'll tell you this too. Like, not for nothing. I don't think that people are who they're going to be at 23 either. I don't think that people are who they're going to be at 26. I don't think you start to really cement it until you're like 30. I think that's when you get like a real idea of who you are. But also, I think you know by 23 that
you shouldn't be killing people.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
Like, maybe at, like, 12, you're like, oh, I just wish I could push this bitch down a bridge and she would, like, die and not be a problem anymore, right? Yeah. But by 23, I don't think those thoughts should be ruminating any longer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I'm not conflicted about Jeremy at all. Jeremy is right where he needs to be.
Exactly.
You know, and since he's a 300-year-old werewolf...
It'll be nothing. 25 years will be nothing to him.
It'll be nothing.
Been on this over 300 years.
Exactly. You know what? Jeremy's good.
Okay.
Jeremy's good. Dolls. That is the story of the Richardson family murder. Whew, shit.
Thank goodness.
Shit. You know what? Wow. Isn't that crazy?
That was intense.
That was intense. That was intense. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Jasmine or her future or where she's going. I just, you know
I mean,
what?
I'd be aware of her. I want to hang out with her at no damn parties
No.
or anything if I was that college student.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, she's changed her name. No one can find where she. I mean, I'm sure her parole officer. knows
Yeah,
where she
like,
is.
Jasmine, girl, you in there?
Right.
Yeah.
But apparently, she's changed her name and just booked the scene. She's trying to be somebody else now, which I mean, with
I
good
would
reason.
want to as well.
With good reason, but I will not be walking down any dark alleys
with no damn
with Jasmine Richardson. So
these
anyway.
her friends like Googled it or something like, girl, you know, you heard about this girl named Jasmine, and like compare the images and like
And she's just sitting there like,
she's horrible.
she's a bitch. I heard about that twat. Did you do an image search? Oh my god. Anyway, dolls, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this week. We're hoping that you liking this. As always, remember this is our second video, so we're just growing and figuring it out and figuring out where it's going. So we depend on your feedback
Please
and
let us know.
tell us what it's working.
Like, don't tell us to go to hell or die or anything.
I
but,
mean,
like, we'd like honest feedback.
Yeah. I mean, but maybe they honestly want us to go to hell or die.
My mom. No,
That's fine too.
JK.
No big deal. Anyway, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for spending your time with us. We are going to get out of here. But, you know, maybe we'll see you around in the next video. And remember, life's a blush and then you die.